Only the Chinese, very unfortunate, can actually raise a burial ground and then convert it into a quote-unquote happiness park with amusement parks in it. Tragic at so many levels. But Pathikrit, Payne, I want to get you in that as far as the state persecution of Uyghur Muslims is concerned, it's now documented. I wouldn't say well documented, because even when the Chinese allow entry into these quote-unquote camps, it is not an unsupervised visit, so to say. So they are supervised visits. That's how Chinese allow entry into these camps. Having said that, do you think India needs to call out the hypocrisy that Beijing has been following now? And at the end of the day, that is where India speaks to Beijing on equal level, because, you know, these are informal summits. There's no structured agenda. So it gives the freedom and elbow room to Prime Minister Modi to speak at length about some of these contentious issues.
Gauri, first of all, I'm not surprised by what the Chinese are doing in the Xinjiang province, because if you look at what they have done in the name of cultural revolution during the time of Mao Zedong, so that is very well clear as to what they can do. Secondly, the kind of demographic change and subjugation that they did in Tibet, that is the same template they are trying to do in Xinjiang province. There are two aspects to it. First, when it comes to taking a strong stand against radicalism or fighting against organizations like Turkestan Islamic Party, which has been very prominent in Xinjiang province, which is supported by Al-Qaeda. That is one part of it. But to completely exterminate a particular community and destroy their cultural ethos, that is something that should be condemned, and that should be brought out in the open arena. These countries, whether you talk about China or whether you talk about Pakistan, they have hypocrisy galore when it comes to when they go to the global arena. The Chinese have this habit of saying something and doing something else. Well, India has always taken a nuanced approach when it comes to not commenting on the internal affairs of China. But if you look at the way Chinese operate, Chinese, when it comes to issues of economic affairs, they actually pretend that it's business as usual with India, but then they keep on pricking us on certain issues. So I think our nuanced approach of not interfering or commenting on somebody else's internal affair, we have to actually do a little bit of deliberation as to whether it's working or not. China is a country which also gets very jittery quickly. So I think while we should also have this business as usual approach with China, because you cannot completely ignore China, which is a huge economic powerhouse, and we have a lot of economic dealings with them. But at the same time, it has to be made clear to them, look, if you keep on raising Kashmir issue, if you keep on supporting Pakistan on certain critical aspects which are extremely nefarious in design, then nothing stops us from also raising the issues of Hong Kong, Tibet, Taiwan, or what is happening in the Xinjiang province. I think somewhere, even if it, as you rightly said, in a discreet manner, within the confines of what has been, without mentioning it perhaps in the joint statements, I think that message has to be given to them that it cannot be business as usual when it comes to having economic dealings, and then you keep on hitting us while we remain silent. While that is fine that we should not interfere, but it doesn't work with a country which does not reciprocate in the same manner. So that's where I think, I'm sure the government has its own plan in mind, but probably somewhere a little change in the tactics is required, because China is a country which does not accept or understands or appreciates sober behavior. It only believes, and actually it only likes the Doklam kind of an approach. So when you have a Doklam kind of approach, they will listen to you. So you start hitting them on certain issues, then they will stop hitting you back.
Then let me ask this to Professor Nalapat.